worship with us. Everybody do it. Let's go. We're gonna turn the world upside down. We're gonna turn these people right side up. We're gonna shout until we're 6 feet over. We're gonna demonstrate something unusual. Come on. Something.
Partnerships are vital to our global outreach, enabling us to take the love and hope of Jesus Christ to those who need it most. Our Boots on the Ground Partnership Program physically ministers to those in desperate situations all over the world. The Israel Partnership furthers Kim's legacy of outreach to Israel and Jewish people worldwide. We invite you to become a partner today. Join us today and be part of a community that inspires hope, brings restoration to life, and often healing from the past. Together, we can make a difference, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Trump shall become a trumpet, says the Lord.
Be a praying president, not a religious one, for I will fool the people, says the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord.
The Spirit of the Lord says there shall be one assassination attempt that shall endeavor to destroy the plans that I have for this nation. Look to your vice president.
But California, I'm looking at you. Goldstone, California. God says, once you recognize the man that I have raised up, pray, for the enemy will do everything in his power to put a witch in the White House. Hear me. I have found a man after my own heart, and he is amongst you. He is one of the brothers but singled out for presidency of the United States of America. Strange July, hypnotic November, and oh Christmas, where winter shall say, and me, I will make them happy. My will shall be done. And in the fall will show you whom I have chosen to pray for and guide this nation. You shall rejoice, for it is my man. It is my chosen David, says the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord.
Why don't we just close our eyes, lift our hands, and just let the Spirit of God touch us before we actually give to Him and minister to Him, shall we?
Touch
drew me to your secret place. We are one.
Sing the whole thing again. Everybody sing with us.
So I touch your hands with my praise. I touch your heart with my song. I touch your face with my love. We are one.
We are one.
You touched my life with your grace. You captured me in your embrace. You drew me to your secret place.
We are one. That's all I have. It's my praise. That's all I have. It's my song. That's all I have. It's my love. And we are one. Everybody sing it. That's all I have. That's all I have. It's my praise. Yeah. That's all I have. It's my song. That's all I have. It's my love. And we are one. Sing it, Hannah. That's all I have.
Oh yeah, 'cause that's all I have. It's my praise. That's all I have. It's my song. And that's all I have. It's my love. Oh yeah, that's all I have. It's my praise.
That's all I have.
Oh yeah, that's all I have. It's my song of love. That's all I have. It's my
Okay, everybody. Sorry about the delay there. I had to make sure that I knew what I would be allowed to share with you today because of the weekend I just had. Which, God is amazing. The way that God works is so unpredictable sometimes. I mean, you guys have been watching the last couple of weeks what's been going on. I've been sharing the prophecies, not only of my dad, but things that were prophesied over me. Last week we had Richard and Debbie Gray join, and with all the talk of Trump and the White House and all that, what ended up happening was I received an email. Beautiful way to start. I know I told Lou just play some worship because it's always best to start everything with worship. That's just a good way to go, and so we love to do that here, and that's why we did that. I was kind of waiting because I didn't know how much I would actually be allowed to tell you guys today. So we got an email last week. I got an email saying that I was invited to the White House. And it was an official meeting of the Faith Office, which I have discovered is not just because, during Trump's first term, that was like an advisory kind of thing. The Faith Office is now it's official. It's a faith office. It has an office in the West Wing. And what it is representing people of faith, in particular Christians, and working with policy to stop the discrimination that has come against Christians, especially, things like people getting arrested for praying outside of abortion clinics. Think about, okay, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about what's going on in England, that there are areas where if you live within a certain vicinity of an abortion clinic, you're not allowed to pray in your own home. That's what's going on in Europe. And so we now have an official faith office in the government that is representing us. They have put a representative from the faith office in every department of government to make sure that our voices are heard, that we are represented. And so that's what that is. And so I was invited by Paula White to join with a small group of faith leaders. There must have been maybe 70 people, I'm not sure, that were there. And when I went in, I didn't know what to expect. I did find out afterwards that President Trump had initially he was going to join us at this meeting, but the Pope died. He had to go to the funeral, so he wasn't there. But I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't know what. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going to happen, and so I had to be vague about it. That's why I said to you guys, pray for me. I'm doing boots on the ground. Well, I went to Washington, D.C., and you know that I don't. I'm not flying right now on any airplane, so I drove there. My husband drove me. We left on Wednesday, and it was a 10-hour drive from where we are. So it was a long day, but we did it in one day. We left early in the morning, and we got there to Washington, D.C., and we stayed at a little hotel there by the National Mall that was full. It was full of kids, like all these kids, I guess on school trips or something. So we had the tiniest hotel. I've never stayed in such a small hotel room in my life. It was it looked like they took a closet and said, let's just make this into an extra room next to the elevators. So we were in this teeny tiny little room. And let me tell you, my husband is a tall, big guy, and we had to share a queen bed. And so that was interesting as well. But we got there, and we had Thursday because the meeting was on Friday. We had Thursday, just to kind of get our bearings. And my husband wanted to, because when you're in Washington, D.C., they have the National Mall, so the Capitol and the White House and all the stuff. The Smithsonian's there, and he wanted to go to the Smithsonian and go look at the museums. And you can't just drive around there. It's like a downtown. It's really busy. And so he says, Well, let's go. We can get these little scooters. You can rent scooters and little electric bikes that you can ride around on, which I did not want to do. I did not want to do that. And but my husband really wanted to see these things, so I was like, okay, we can do it. But I'm not getting on the little scooter because many of you know, when I was 13 years old, my dad had gotten us 2 of those motorized scooters, and he crashed. It was actually a demonic thing that happened to him because there was no reason that scooter thing. It was called a moped. There was no reason for it to crash. There was a red button you could push that would cut the motor. That didn't work. The brakes didn't work, and he fell, broke his wrists. But as a result of that, he had a series of visions where God showed him the warriors of the new millennium and how God would be using unusual people. He saw tattooed people and pierced people and rough people and warriors, scarred people that God was going to be using in the new millennium to fight what he saw and what God revealed to him as the beast of the East. And so, this is going back many years. So I didn't want to get on the scooter because I felt nervous about that. I have trauma from that. I didn't want to get on the scooter. So I got on this bike, and it was so difficult. My husband, of course, he's whipping around. He's completely fearless. He's just on the scooter. And I was driving that thing like a little granny. I was so scared. There were so many people everywhere, and there's so much traffic. And I'm on this bicycle, but you don't pedal the bicycle. You have to like push a button to make it go, and that scared me. And it was very difficult. And the Smithsonian was so disappointing. I mean, the amount of money that they're spending. The building looks beautiful. You go inside, everything's immaculate. And then we went to the Native American because that's in particular what he wanted to look at, and there was not much there, or we were not impressed. So if you want to watch some of that, I'm gonna get Lou to put the links in the description because my husband did post some video of that, and you can see me. I might be able to show you if we have enough time. I can maybe show you a clip of me on the bicycle, like a little granny. Just it was so terrible. But we did that, and then of course, you all of you know about how it is with my hair, and I was really worried about because I didn't have my sister. My sister does my hair normally, and she wasn't with us, so I actually went to a salon near the hotel. I took a cab over there, and I said, "You guys got to fix my hair for me." And the guy there did such a great job. He really made my hair look nice, so I was very relieved for that. And then, excuse the vanity. Glenn Beck did say the same. You know what? We were listening to Glenn Beck on the way home, and he said the same about the Smithsonian. I think he went to where the art was, and he was just so disappointed. It really was disappointing to see that. But you know what? I'm not disappointed about anything else. I was blown away by what they are actually doing at the Faith Office. Lou, I want to share the official thing. So I'm going to go here to the screen share, and hopefully I can get this correct. I want to show you guys the official, in case you haven't seen this. Replace. Okay. And we're going to go to establishment. Okay, there we go. All right, so here it is. Okay. And click where? This. Okay. My gosh, but I'm not going to be able to read. Oh, but I can read the big one. Okay. I forgot my I need to keep granny glasses here.
You do?
Okay, so the establishment of the White House Faith Office. So this was the meeting that I went to, and we were briefed. So this is why I was a little bit late today. I was checking with our point person to make sure what I was allowed to share, because I can't share everything. Because I was making video in there and stuff, but I can't. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to mess this up because I'm so excited. I was so humbled to have even been invited. And you know what was so great is that Pastor Greg Locke of Global Vision is my pastor. That's my church. And he was there, and I didn't know he was going to be there. So when I walked in and saw my pastor was there, it was such a relief, because I was like, oh, I know you. And I started recognizing people. And then, of course, Sean Foyt led worship, which was so anointed. It was so amazing. So, oh, and also I should tell you, we were not in the actual White House. Next to the White House is the Eisenhower building, and that's the building we were in. And so uh, the security, oh my goodness gracious, the security, it's you just don't know till you go. But you know, because we had to submit our identification beforehand. They check you out, and then they send you a RSVP. Okay, you're cool. Bring your ID when you get there. Then you're having to present your ID. Then you go through security. Then you go through more security, and then you have to be escorted. You're not allowed to just run around on your own. You have to be escorted, and it's huge. And we ended up getting lost actually afterwards, and trying to find our way out. So that was that was a whole thing. But okay, so here's what it is, okay? So the establishment of the White House Faith Office, and this is from February 7th of this year. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, and to assist faith-based entities, community organizations, and houses of worship in their efforts to strengthen American families, promote work and self-sufficiency, and protect religious liberty, is hereby ordered. Section 1, policy. Faith-based entities, community organization, and houses of worship have tremendous ability to serve individuals, families, and communities through means that are different from those of government, and with capacity and effectiveness that often exceeds that of government. These organizations lift people up, keep families strong, and solve problems at the local level. The executive branch wants faith-based entities, community organizations, and houses of worship, to the fullest extent permitted by law, to compete on a level playing field for grants, contracts, programs, and other federal funding opportunities. The efforts of faith-based entities, community organizations, and houses of worship are essential to strengthening families and revitalizing communities, and the federal government welcomes opportunities to partner with such organizations through innovative, measurable, and outcome-driven initiatives. The executive branch is committed to ensuring that all executive departments and agencies honor and enforce the Constitution's guarantee of religious liberty, and to ending any form of religious discrimination by the federal government. Now, that is so important, because what did we see, especially over the Biden years? But we saw that building up beforehand. We saw it. This has been going on in this country for a long time. Slowly, 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 it has, to the point where they're arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics, okay? So this is the office that's dealing with that. Okay. So, Section 2, amendments to executive orders. Executive order from January 29th, 2001. 2000. Wait, let me just skip stuff I don't need to. There's a whole bunch of history of it. It's substituting White House Faith Office for White House Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives, or White House OFBCI each time it appears in those orders. Okay, that's all official stuff I'm not going to understand. Okay, there's an establishment within the executive office of the president of the White House Faith Office. The office shall have lead responsibility in the executive branch to empower faith-based entities, community organizations, and houses of worship to serve families and communities. This is long. I'm not going to read all this. But Lou, will you put that link in the chat, and also in the description of this video? That way you guys can go and read this. Okay, so the reason I'm showing this to you, and Lou, I'm going to want to stop sharing. The reason I'm showing this to you is because I need you to understand how important this is for us as Christians. Rise up right now, because this is not, again, this is not just some advisory thing on the side. They have an office in the West Wing, and we are represented when it comes to policy, when it comes to laws. And there are good, you hear about the deep state and you hear about these things, but there are good people there too. There are Christians that are working within government to fight against that discrimination. Crypto Vision. Yes, I am Kim Clement's daughter. In case anybody doesn't know, my name's Donna Clement Petrushka. I'm Kim Clement's daughter and eldest child. And I was invited to, and the House of Destiny, our ministry was invited to be briefed on some of the things that they're doing. And so, again, I wasn't sure. Okay, what am I going to be allowed to share? What am I not going to be allowed to share? And I'm going to open my text here so I can make sure that I am okay. So the one I can share is James Blair, the Deputy Chief of Staff, came and briefed us. Also, they brought in someone from counterterrorism who shared with us some of the things that are going on and things that they're doing to counter terrorism, in particular Islamic terrorism that you saw what just happened in India. They briefed us on things that are going on in Africa, the importance of Africa, and being from Africa myself, that was really interesting. Because they were able to explain how it's kind of working over there. So you'll have, in Africa, you have a lot of tribal conflict that still happens. And what happens is when there is that kind of conflict, there'll be division within tribes and in regions. And that's when the ISIS and Al-Qaeda guys step in and start recruiting people. And next thing, these people are part of ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And it's the Islamization of Africa, of Europe. Look what's happening. I'm going to show you some stuff from my X page right now. And all over the world. And it's the radicalized Islamists that are, and when my dad saw the beast of the, think of what the story I told you about when he broke his arms. God showed him the beast of the East and the warriors of the new millennium that would have to fight this beast of the East. And if you remember, my dad prophesied about the rise of a Fourth Reich. He was very specific about things that would happen in Europe. He named the countries that we are seeing we're seeing those countries right now. We're seeing France. Actually, I have something from Denmark I wanted to show you on my X page in a minute. But it was quite an experience. Again, my husband and I had no idea what to expect. We were given an address. We got in a cab. We drove over there. We went through all that security. I did see some people that maybe I didn't know, but got to meet because we knew people who knew people, and it was really cool to connect with a lot of these other faith leaders. And again, my own pastor was there, which was so great. And Sean Foyt, who I know from the Reawaken America tour, and he was there with his wife, and they did a beautiful worship session, which I think I'm allowed to show you that, and I have it on my X page. I'll show you that. I saw that vehicle crashing in Canada. I haven't seen too much about it yet because I've been so busy. Because we drove home yesterday, 10 straight hours drove home yesterday, so I could make sure to be here for you guys today. And in Texas, I'm going to show you guys that as well. And Ania Rhodes is on YouTube commenting that. I have that to share with you as well. And yeah, you might want to just pull up my X page. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'm not going to be I'm not as organized as normal, you guys, because I didn't get home till last night. And I was tired. 10 hours in a car. You'd think you're just sitting in a car. You're not going to get it. It's exhausting. We did 6 straight hours without stopping, though. By the time we did stop at Buc-ee's, I've never had to pee so bad in my life. I almost threw up. I was like, we have to stop. I have to pee. Oh, my gosh. But we wanted to make it home before it got dark because both of us are getting older now, and we really don't like driving in the dark. And so what a weekend. But you know what? I mean, think about what's happened here the last couple of weeks. We have been reviewing. Yes, Paula was there. Paula White was there. And wow, what God is doing with her. I'm seeing all the people trying to slander her, and they'll come up with this or that little thing that they want to use against her. It is foolish to be doing that right now because she is working on every Christian's behalf. Every single one of you, whether you slander her or not, she's working for you in the White House right now to make sure that you still keep the freedom to pray wherever you want to pray. They brought in someone from the Department of Education to talk to us and what they're doing to counter the things that are happening in our schools, that my dad prophesied what God was going to do with the colleges and the universities and the schools. And one of the people who spoke to us was from counterterrorism, and he made me cry, because he was talking about how they deal with terrorism all over the world, and what they're dealing with. And he said something that really struck me. He said that, I don't want to misquote him. I wish I got it on video on my phone, but I can't share it with you. But he was talking about how when he speaks to them, they're like, but you don't, you guys, how are we going to take you seriously? You take the name of your God in vain. You don't have the faith. And I thought, my goodness gracious, what kind of witness are we? We have a responsibility there too. And I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, so I'm not going to go too far with that. I'm being careful. I'm being careful. But it was so, I was so blown away, because I didn't realize what they were actually doing in there. And they are fighting for us. And they're fighting for us when it comes to policy, and that we're represented, and that we're heard, and that what happened under Biden and what's happening in Europe and in the West in particular does not happen here, and does not continue here, because we've seen what has happened to America as a result of it. And God is handling this in a way that we didn't expect him to handle it, but it is perfect. God is in control here, my friends. Let me tell you that God is in control, and President Trump has made sure that we are protected. And that's what I saw. And Paula White is working so hard. I mean, they are barely sleeping. They are in there in the West Wing of the White House. It is completely mind-blowing. I cannot express enough how humbled I was to even be included, because it was a small group of people. It wasn't a lot of people. But here's the good news. They're going to start to communicate with us the things that they're working on and the things that they're accomplishing in the faith office. And so I am going to be able to report that to you guys. I don't know how often this happens, if it's weekly, if it's monthly, however it is, because I know a lot of our prayer partners have been saying, what can we pray for? What can we pray for? And I had started to put together, okay, we need to get a system together for our partners, and not just our partners, any of you watching who want to know, how can we pray? How can we help? I'm going to be able to do this now because I was included in this. I'm going to be able to tell you, okay, this is where we're having trouble, or this is what they're working on, and this is what we need to be praying about this week or this month. And we can come together and do that. And it really is time. Larry Williams says it's time for the church to stand up. It is, because a lot of churches don't want to be political because they are threatened about, the IRS and lawfare. Something Paula White was talking about was, she had to deal with lawfare before President Trump, and that's what she jokes with him about, because she had to deal with it first. And that is what happened. That is what happened, especially under Obama, where the IRS was used. But the thing is that because so many leaders, church leaders, have taken the stance of, we don't want to be political, we're going to just not. That is why there is a mess. We have a responsibility to be involved. And that doesn't mean we have to be politicians. It means that we need to be aware, and we need to not be afraid to speak up about things. And that's right, Dumb Mama, DA Mama or Dumb Mama, targeted prayer. And you know what my dad built here, and all of you, and it doesn't matter if you were a part of the ministry, or supporting the ministry when my dad was alive or not. This ministry is a ministry of prophetic warriors. What did I tell you? The warriors of the new millennium. That's us, guys. And what God did was he has given me a door in to where, I mean, the White House. I was at the White House. President Trump was supposed to have been there, and because the Pope died. Let me tell you something that's weird. You guys remember I interviewed Eric Trump. This is 2 years ago now. And when I was initially supposed to interview Eric, his mother died. And we had to reschedule the interview because his mom died, because Ivana died. And I have a whole thing that happened to me when Ivana died as well. I knew the night before. I had been praying and God showed me something, and there's a whole thing with that. But I was supposed to interview Eric and we had to reschedule. And then when Mom and I did actually interview Eric Trump, they were raiding Mar-a-Lago while we were interviewing him. Okay. So now here I get invited to the faith office where President Trump is supposed to be there. And the Pope dies and he has to leave and go to the Pope's funeral, which I've got to pull up my X page because did you see the picture of him and Zelensky? Now remember, Dad, where did God send my dad? God sent my dad to Ukraine, boots on the ground. That's where he started boots on the ground, was in Ukraine, where God showed him that out of the ashes will come beauty and out of the sadness will come joy. And at that time, the war had not started. Also, my dad prophesied again and again and again, warning about Putin. Putin, he said he saw that Putin, like a junkyard dog, that he would be released like a junkyard dog. That he would die by the sword in his own land. That it would take a servant's broom to sweep up the many webs that he'd woven. Do you? He's got Putin prophecies. God bless you. Do you really? Let's play it.
Which one? Spiderweb.
The spider web. You got, see that? There you go. Oh, Lou is so good at his job, isn't he?
I saw the
Eventually
spider,
we'll have
I
it.
saw the web, and God spoke about Putin. And this is what came out of it. He said, the spider's web is no match for a servant's broom.
Mm.
And I know that there are literally tens of thousands of you that are actually getting what I'm saying. It's not going to take a mighty army to bring him down. It's not going to take weapons of warfare to bring him down. For God said to me, his web is no match for a servant's broom.
It's different when you hear him say it. That's powerful. So, last year, for the last 2 years, I keep shouting to people. I went on Roger Stone's show and I went on all these shows and I kept saying, because everyone was like, Putin's on our side. And I kept saying, no. and Zelensky, we know Zelensky is controlled. We know that. I saw somebody post the other day, is Zelensky the bad guy or is Putin the bad guy? And I answered, why can't they both be bad guys? Like, why does it have to be one or the other? I don't think Zelensky is like Putin. I think Zelensky is controlled. If you notice, if you guys were watching, when Trump wanted to talk to Zelensky, who came running in? Keir Starmer from the UK and Macron came running over because they wanted to make sure they could control that situation because they need that war to keep going. And Trump's trying to end it. And I think Zelensky's in a very difficult position because I don't think Zelensky's not like Putin. Zelensky's controlled. This is what I see about him. And my heart for the Ukrainian people, because they can't vote, because as long as there's wartime, they don't get to vote. So if they don't like what Zelensky's doing, they're stuck. Not to mention that how many Ukrainians are dying? Ukraine is not nearly as big as Russia. And so Russian soldiers are dying, But there's not going to be any Ukrainians left if they don't stop this war. And the military-industrial complex and the globalists, this is how they're laundering their money. This is how they keep their power. This is how, whatever they do, I don't even know all of it. But I know what my dad prophesied, and we were warned about Putin. And what we're starting to see is Putin has been bombing civilian areas, and it's now making Trump upset. I actually had Maria Bartoloma, because I couldn't find the actual post. Let's pull up my X page first, Lou. Let's pull up my X page. Can you do it for me? There we go. Okay, now let me get it open here. Okay, now I'm going to have to kind of scroll around. Yeah, here's some stuff from the White. These are other people who were there. I actually didn't meet him, but I saw his post. And if you look at that awning behind him, that's where my husband and I took the picture that's on the thumbnail today. We stood right in front of there. I didn't realize that was the Tesla. I didn't realize that was Trump's Tesla when I was there. But I'm going to scroll a little bit because there's some stuff I wanted to show you. Let's go over to, oh, look here. Here we go. Here, I can show you this. Now, I'm sitting in the very, very back. Me and my husband, we slipped over. We were in the back row there, the same area as you see Greg Locke in the middle. So we were center all the way at the back. You might see us. But this is what we are allowed to show. And Sean didn't. He said, Sean worshipped. So there's my pastor top, and I'm in the middle. And that was us. You see, it was a small group of people. There wasn't a lot of us. And Eisenhower. Oh, that was so annoying because I was crying because we were worshiping in that beautiful place. And I just saw someone. You know what? You guys that want to slander Paula White, you can leave. Bye. Because you know what she's doing? A heck of a lot more than any of you that are throwing your stones at her. She's doing for you to make sure that you can have the freedom to say what you want to say, the freedom to worship. She's covering your back if you're a Christian in this country. So you throw your stones, but you're going to miss out. Here, my pastor says it. Wait. There's Zelensky. That is iconic, that photo. Let me find where I am going to be a little bit around. It was her wedding anniversary that day as well. God bless her. I pray for her, and I love her. And if you guys don't like that, and if you want to believe scandal and slander, or if you want to go watch a little video of her husband 15 years ago saying something he shouldn't have said, fine. Judge away. You're going to miss it. You're going to miss the move of God because you're too busy throwing stones at the people who are fighting for you.
Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here. So we just left a beautiful briefing with the Faith Advisory Board here at the White House. And if I could sum all of these meetings that I've been to up, if I could sum up the leadership, if I could sum up everything that's happening right now in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, it would be this. I am shocked, amazed, but overcome with gladness and joy at how much Jesus has been invited into the White House during this administration. It's truly remarkable. Don't miss a magnificent supernatural move of God because you're sitting around on a computer just being critical. Get involved in what the Lord is doing. God is moving in America, and He's doing it right in the heart of our nation. And President Donald Trump is keeping his promises by allowing us to fulfill the promises of God.
So there you go. That's from my pastor. Don't miss the move. Don't
Hey
miss
guys,
the
Pastor
move.
Greg Locke here. So
Don't miss what God is doing in this time because you heard a rumor about Paula White. And look, I understand that, you know, when there's corruption and we're misrepresented, when there's corruption with leadership, and then you have to answer to non-Christians about, well, this person, I understand. But what I'm asking you to do is get before God on your knees and ask Him to reveal it to you yourself. I trust God. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you, and I'm certainly not going to answer a bunch of comments all the time, try to defend Paula. I know Paula, and I love her, and God is using her. And yes, He's using a woman right now. He is. That's who he's chosen to use. Lou. Lou has appeared.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if you saw his live that night. So
No, I
Pastor
didn't.
Greg Locke, he got back to his hotel room. He had to change his flight because the meeting went longer than
Yes,
he
it did go
thought.
longer.
So he went back to his hotel and he went live. And it was a little bit long, but not too long. But one of the key things that he said that I was like taken back with, which is so true, is that he said, how dare we judge who God puts
Yes.
in leadership? He says, just because she's not the person you want, doesn't mean it's not who God wants. And we've got to get behind, because if you look through that, the whole Bible, there's people that were picked. David, if you look at David, his brothers, all of them.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the people at the time who knew what happened with David. I'm getting warm. Who knew what David had done.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they were doing that.
Jesus.
But from the line of King David
Mm-hmm.
came our Messiah.
So we got to stop.
God will use, please name me one perfect person.
Yeah.
And please name me one terrible thing that she has done.
It doesn't matter who they put in there. Someone's not going to like it.
Someone's not going to like it.
So
but if
God's put her there.
Look, God opened the door for her. President Trump contacted her in like 2004. And she led him to Christ. He saw her preaching and it affected him and he contacted her. He wasn't the president then. He was just Donald Trump then. Nobody else cared. Nobody else knew. My dad, 2007, prophesies about Donald Trump. My dad went to Paula White's church Without Walls, and some of the prophecies that I have been able to show you were prophesied from her platform. She provided a place for the prophet to prophesy, my dad. And so I'm not just going to forget that because there's this rumor or that rumor. And again, I don't want to keep going on and on about that because there's so much more to this. But I'm really, as Christians, I'm asking you to, you get before God yourself and you ask God to show you and you discern and you just, I'm not going to go on and on about it. I'm saying that what I see going on is astounding. It was astounding. We were briefed. We were given the information of what the issues are and what they're working on and what the successes are and what we need to be worried about. And again, this is something I'm going to keep sharing with you guys as often as I can. I don't remember because we're going to be getting emails. I don't remember if that's going to be weekly or monthly. I have to find out. I'm still right in there. This is all new to me. But you're going to know, I'm going to let you know what's happening, and it's coming straight from the West Wing of the White House, and God has provided that for us. That didn't happen. Remember Easter with Biden and the Biden administration. Do you guys remember what happened? Okay. Do you want that in your White House, or do you want faith, a faith office? I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because again, I thought it was like, oh, they get together and pray sometimes. No. This is an official thing. It's it's amazing. It's amazing what God is doing. And he's going to be using all kinds of people. I mean, there were all kinds of people in that room with us. There was a priest in there. I mean, there were all kinds of people. Some of them knew my dad and knew other ministries and ministers, and it was just, and there were new people there, and everybody got was given a seat to be represented, and it was just so powerful. Here's Sean's. I'll play Sean's. I just find it was such a beautiful moment. You can see me in the back there. See Imagine with the hat all the way in the back. There's Paul. It's a teeny tiny little thing. God uses. I'm so proud of her. And all those years ago, they didn't know anything. What God had planned and what God was doing. But God, we go through things and we ask. See, there we go. It's me and my husband. The wind was blowing. So it's a bit of a dramatic picture of me, isn't it? But there we are. Now that is the side of the White House. Okay, so we were in the Eisenhower building, and that's to the side of the White House. So we walked out the side, and there was the White House. And my husband just walked up the stairs right onto the front, and he's like filming and stuff. And a lady's like, "What are you doing? You can't be here. Where's your escort? You're supposed to be escorted." So he had to leave, but he still got video of it. So that was pretty cool. There we are before we left. You see I went and got my hair done. It actually behaved because it was humid, and I was so worried that my hair was going to start poofing up, but it didn't. Everything just went great, and it was just such a blessing. And I will say this too, we really need to be lifting one another up. The church, the people of Christ, we need to be praying for one another and lifting one another up, because here's some things we really should be worrying about as opposed to gossiping about one another.
I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi
I would be
salam,
more worried
the
about
successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians. I am the son of the Muslims through my father, and the son of the Christians and the Jews through my mother. I am the son of the East through my father, and the son of the West through my mother. I am like Zulkarnain, who with one horn in the East and one in the West. And I am the inheritor of all that lies between. I am more knowledgeable than any false pope, and I am appointed by name in the will of the prophets. My name is also on the tongue of Isaiah, who prophesied of the righteous servant, and he said, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter.
So I don't know if I would advise doing some investigating into that. I would advise having a look into what's going on over there, because we can sit over here and slander one another in church and pull one another down, or we can come together at a time when people like that, who could very well be one of the false prophets or the Antichrist himself, I don't know for sure, but when I saw that, no joke, that's a problem. He's got a following. The Muslims are cheering this guy on. There's a lot of them that believe he is the great Imam who they see coming. That's something I would worry about if I was a Christian. If I were you and I was a Christian, worry about that. That's a problem. Okay, I'll show you another problem. I think that if you want to be investigating and exposing, let's do some investigating and exposing. Right here. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of this. I used to live here. So I lived in Texas. My family moved to the Dallas area in 1992, and North Texas area, all of this you see on that map. I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm going to start it over. I lived in Carrollton. I lived in Louisville. I lived in Flower Mound. You'll see those names of those towns. None of these are all mosques. You see this? None of those were there when I left in 2006, when I moved from this area in 2006. None of those were there. Look at that. That's something you need to be investigating. That's something you need to be looking into, because that's going to be a much bigger problem. Because now what they're starting to do, and I'm sure many of you have seen this on the news, it's happening, and I think I can't remember if it's Irving or wherever it is, that they've got an entire community. They've got the call to prayer happening. So what's happened in Europe is beginning to happen here under the guise of religious freedom and compassion and everything. Their goal is to take over, and if you don't convert to Islam, you're dead. Now, some of you may say, well, that's not all Muslims. It doesn't matter if it's not all Muslims. It's enough that this is happening. That's something, please, if you're a Christian and you want to investigate and you want to expose and you want to do that, there you go. Have an investigation into that. Now, what are the policies and the laws and the things happening in that region that we can stop that from happening, because that's not okay. And that's not just religious freedom. That is an infiltration into our country to take it over. Because they cannot beat us militarily, they will infiltrate from within. My father prophesied there is a nation itching for a new kind of war with America, that they will infiltrate from within. There it is. Shocking. That's Texas. That's not New York. That's not California. That is Texas. Okay? Look at all the mosques. That is a small area. That's not a very big area. I lived around that area from the age of 13 to the age of 26. So I know this. Islamic Association of Louisville. My cousin went to Louisville High School. That wasn't happening then. Lou's back.
Well, they're moving over to Florida too now.
Oh, well, yes,
There's
they're
a lot
everywhere.
of videos
You guys,
going around
everywhere.
that's all happening. But like I said to you, I posted that Netanyahu prophecy on social media.
Mhm.
April 23rd, 2015, your dad prophesied. Now, when I saw this prophecy, it was a few days ago, and then it just kept working me, and I didn't realize the date. On the 24th, I posted this. It's quite a long prophecy, but the key part is he says, Israel is amazing. They are fighters, and I promise you, watch me. Israel is not who you must worry about. Worry about those enemies that are coming against Israel.
Okay, so who are the enemies coming against Israel right now? What are those countries? Those are Islamic countries that have been radicalized. Okay, just think about it like this, okay? Afghanistan.
Mhm.
When the fiasco pull-out of Afghanistan happened, and they handed it over to Al-Qaeda, the women that had been living, I'm going to focus on women right now. The women that had been living there had, for however long we had been there, our military had been there, were able to get education, and they didn't have to cover themselves up, and they were living, it was better. Then we pulled out of Afghanistan the way that we did. Now, all of those women who did not grow up used to that, especially the younger ones who did not grow up used to living that way, are covered from head to toe, and now they are not even allowed to speak anymore. They are not allowed to be heard speaking from inside of their own homes. Now, I want you to go back and think about England. There are areas in England where if you live within the vicinity of an abortion clinic, you are not allowed to pray in your own home. So what's happening? What's happening here? We have to not allow the enemy to distract us with the little things that he's distracting us with, so we don't see the giants who, to quote my dad, is knocking at our door. And thank God for President Trump, because otherwise we would be what Europe is right now. Look what's happening in Ireland. You got that fighter, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's a boxer, he's a fighter. And he went to the White House and he's saying there's not going to be any Irish people left. Let me show you something. I'm going to go back now into now, if you have children watching right now, even though they're not speaking English, there is strong language used, so it's in translation. If you have, this is it right here. If you have any children, please ask the children to leave the room right now. And I'm going to show you, this is in Denmark. I've been to Denmark. My husband spent a lot of time in Denmark. I want you're going to have to read it. I'll read some of it. There's some strong language used. Listen to what they're saying. They want us to abort our babies. Okay, Ilhan Omar will stand up there, who by the way, Qatar put her in. Ilhan Omar will stand up there and go on and on about abortion. She would never abort a child from her own womb. She would never abort a Muslim child from her own womb. But she'll tell you to do it, okay? Remember that. Now, see, make sure. I hope you guys can all see this. Look. We get 5 children. You have 1 or 2. Instead of 15 years, there will be no more. There will be more packages. The Danes are 5 million people will be exterminated. Look at Sweden, the Norwegians. We are multiple
Vi er i et
millions.
samfund, der ikke laver, I ligger og boller dyr. Det er derfor, I ikke har fået børn, mand. Har du brødre? Har du søstre? Har du brødre eller søstre? Har du brødre eller søstre? Har du brødre eller søstre, mand? De forældre, de knæpper dyr, mand. Det er derfor, de knæpper hinanden. De bliver en bror og en søster, mand. Vi er kun 5 millioner, I bliver aldrig mere, mand. I skal fucking skamme hjerter resten af livet, mand.
I wanted to show you that because that's actually, this is not some news clip. That's happening in the streets. And so they want us to stop having children. Then they have more children. Within a generation or two, this is no longer America. This is now a Muslim country. Just like it's happened all over the world. We've seen it happen in Iran. We've seen it happen in Syria. Go look at Iran in 1979 or 1978. And then look at what happened. And so, I can hear people on the left or some people saying Islamophobic. That is a trick that they used against us to make us shut up. So that, I'm not Islamophobic. I'm not scared of them. I have no prejudice. I have no prejudice against Arabic people. I have a problem with that religion. Yeah, I don't agree with it. And I don't think that we should be sitting back slandering one another and just allowing them to take up, because before you know it, there's going to be we'll be like China. We'll be underground church. We'll be hiding in basements to try to meet. There won't be any more of this Code Breakers Live and there won't be any more churches and there won't be any more. It'll be over. And I know it's unimaginable that could happen in the United States of America. Look at Europe. My dad prophesied about this. He prophesied from France, from the Netherlands. He sent me in 2012 on a trip to those particular countries. He sent me to Italy. He sent me to England. He sent me to France. He sent me to Berlin. He sent me to Poland, to Auschwitz. And he had prophesied a Fourth Reich. No, we don't need to do Netherlands. That'll be okay. We don't need to do that. Not today. So now one thing, I just want to make sure that I don't forget. I'm sorry, I am a little disorganized, you guys. I drove for 10 hours yesterday. It was long. Okay, that's the worship. I think it's this one. Okay, Lou, I'm going to share. This is quite a long clip. Just wondering if I should even share it at all. No, I'm not actually changing anything. I'm just looking through here what I have. You guys just bear with me a little bit here. I'm trying to choose what I'm going to show them because I don't want it to go too long, because the YouTube clip that I'm saying might be too long is they're talking about Putin. Do you? Why don't we let's share that one. Come here and make sure I don't mess this up. Because I kind of wanted to show. I'm a little apprehensive about showing me and John at the thing. I think we can.
Which one?
Okay, why don't we do this? Go to I Got Lost and Found the White House. Let's show them that. Lou is going to put the Maria Bartoloma from today, the news clip. It's like 20 minutes long. And I was going to skip around it. I'm not going to do that now. We're not going to have enough time. But he's going to put that link in the description. Go watch that, because you need to be aware of what was prophesied about Putin. And we're going to repost Putin. We need to repost Putin prophecies. You guys need to see that, because the Ukraine Putin thing, my dad never shouted a world leader's name more than he shouted Putin's name. And he saw a betrayal. He saw the hand of Russia reaching to America, and then when the hand was grabbed, there was a betrayal and decapitation. So there's a lot of deception going on. We have been deceived so much. but God. And that's why we need the prophetic, you see. So I'm just gonna push play, and I'm gonna fast forward through some of this because this is also like 20 minutes long. But I want you to see a little bit of what I can show you. I think this is okay for me to show you. It's my husband.
Good afternoon.
And by the way, the link for this whole video, it will also be in the description, and we'll stick it in the comments so you guys can go watch my husband's whole, because this is my husband's vlog that he made of our day. So you can.
Ladies, gentlemen, Petro here.
This is now our
Department of
hotel is by the
Education there.
FEMA offices.
A bunch of protesters over there
There was a
protesting.
protest
Men
happening. Look how nice my husband looked. See my hair, you guys? Look at my hair.
to meet
Look
up
at
with
my hair, it looks
Jackson
like that
Wade
all the time. That hairdresser.
to go to the White
Great
House
job.
and do something there. And what do you think, wife?
I don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. So there we go. We get in a cab.
You'll be back.
Oh,
Emu can help people customize
Hang on,
and save
sorry
at
about
Liberty
that, guys.
Mutual.
skip. There we are getting into the cab. Then we drive in the cab over there. And then this is what it looked like outside. So that's the Eisenhower building behind me there. You have to go through this whole area for security. Then you have to go through another area for security.
Look at that. Petro investigates.
My husband's so funny. And then here we are going in. Go through here. Like presented our IDs now for the second time. Now we're going in again. And this is all.
Whoa. To the White House. The White House is right next door. You see these big, beautiful magnolia trees. Look at that. What?
That's the building. That's the Eisenhower building, which is beautiful. And then we arrived. Here's some of us walking inside.
There's several ways to get out.
That's what it looks like inside. It's huge. You guys, it is huge. I mean, that building, we got lost afterwards. You're going to see. So there we are walking. The elevator. Walking some more. Didn't know what to expect here. We're just walking around. Well, we're being escorted. You have to have an escort. You can't just go by yourself. Here's everybody now. And then we go into the room. And this is where I saw Pastor Greg Rock, my pastor. I was so happy to see him. And so I had gone and there's me and my wife. We sat at the back. Worship. I'll never forget that. It was so anointed and beautiful. Praising God. One of the highlights of my life. And I remember singing this song in church. And that's what made me cry. So then, he didn't show much. He showed, this is the, this guy, counterterrorism. This guy made me cry.
And then
There's Paula with her team.
The answer is yes, there is.
This is the White House faithful.
Finding where all that is. And
Are
making sure. Again,
working
we're
for
going to
you.
have to go in and do what we do, and that is take the bad
Working for
stuff
God.
off. Like deregulate these things. So you got to discriminate.
And this is when we prayed over them at the end. All of us at the end prayed over. One of the pastors, we want to pray over you. We all prayed over them and over the White House. What God is doing. I don't know who was on the violin, but wasn't it beautiful? I have to ask Sean. Sean Foyt would know if you follow Sean. So then afterwards, we had to go pee and got lost. And here I am for the bathroom because we'd been in there for hours and I had to pee. And then we got lost. Here we are. Trying to find our way out.
They went up what?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, we are too.
And then I ended up talking. You don't see it on camera here, but I ended up talking to like Secret Service guy who got mad at me because I wasn't supposed to be alone. He was like, "Where is your escort?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "You tell me the name of your escort because he's in big trouble." I was like, well, he's right there. I'll just go find him because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Was Greg Laurie there? I'm just seeing that in the. I wish I'd seen him. I would have said hi. Oh well. Next time, because there will be a next time.
That exit's closed.
And so there we go. We're trying to find our way out. I want you to see where my husband goes on towards the White House lawn. So we're lost. Where do we go? What do we do? Look how beautiful it is. It's beautiful in there. Elevator. I just want to leave. Don't know where to go. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because we're going to run out of time, but I wanted you to see a little.
One of these is an office.
Now, on some of those doors were new signs for the Faith office in there, and then they have an office in the West Wing. You see here, so we go out the side door. We don't know where we are. We go out the side door. There's the White House.
Right there.
Look at this. And that red Tesla, that's Trump's Tesla, which I didn't know.
Okay, that's the White House right there.
There's my husband.
Let's go check that out.
He's probably going to tell me. Man, he's so much bolder than me. I would not have done what he did. But that gate, you see how that gate's open on the side there? He just goes right in. Like, just not scared at all. I did not. I'm on the other side saying, "Don't go in there. We're not allowed in there."
Exclusive access here to the guys out here at the White House. This is where they pull up. This is all of it here. See, we got some
but that's where we were.
news or something. Everybody on the outside.
There it is.
But
it was so
Petro
surreal.
is
It was
on
so
the
crazy, you
inside
guys. I
of the
couldn't
White
believe we
House.
were there. I could
It's like,
not.
that's it. That
Where
is
we were.
it. Petro's right here.
My husband is too funny. And look at that building, how many. That is
Wow.
something else. I mean,
Incredible.
it really was incredible.
Okay. That's the White House right there. Pretty big house.
A pretty big house. So anyway, that's a little bit of what I wanted to show you from there. I'm gonna switch. I wonder if I do need to switch back over to X. I don't think so. No, let's just. Yeah, no, I don't think so. And we're out of time now. Okay, so that's a little bit. Now, once I find out how much I can share and stuff, then we'll be sharing more with you. And as things happen, it's I mean, literally got home last night. And so I have been texting a little bit with Paula, and I, of course, thanked her so much and just really tried to encourage her. And I had a bit of time with her kids and got to see them and talk to them while we were there as well. And that was really fun. They were actually lost with us for a little while, so that was cool. But because we got to hang out a bit. And I didn't get back to go say hi to Paula, though, which was crazy. I just got lost. And you know what? That's God, though. God sometimes does that. It's God's timing. And if you remember in the prophecy I played for you guys, the Roger Teal prophecy, remember how he was shouting at me, "You're in a rush, and I will stop you." Remember he was saying that, and you will wait, and then you will know. And so every time there's this chance of me meeting Trump, or you heard what I told you about Eric Trump and how the first time I was supposed to interview him, his mom died. And then the next time we rescheduled it, the next time I interviewed him, they were raiding Mar-a-Lago. And it was like my first chance to actually meet Trump, which would have happened. The Pope died and he had to leave. So it's like, it's God doing this, and I'm just okay with it. And I've told you guys, I'm totally cool if I never meet Trump. It's totally fine. As long as he's got what he needs and he does what he needs for America, I want America to be great. Because that's, we're immigrants. We immigrated here legally. We love this country. There's nowhere else in the world like this place. And the history of it, you see it when you're there in Washington, D.C. You see what God did in creating this nation. And everybody wants to talk about all the bad things all the time, but there's so much good. And if you come from another country, you know that. It's not perfect. Tell me anywhere that's perfect. But you know what? The toughest and the strongest people made it here. Because in the founding of this country, it was the people who had to go through so much just to get here. I mean, think of it. They had to get on. Think of the time. They had to get on ships, big ships, and there were no airplanes, and there was nothing here. There weren't roads. There weren't things. They had to all the stuff that they had to go through to found this nation. And it wasn't just one group of people or another group of people. It was people from all over the world, and it was founded under God. This is a Christian nation, and the enemy is trying to destroy it, and we are fighting together. And so we need to forget about theology, forget about who should dance or not dance, or what you should wear, or who said what, because we have a real enemy coming against us. My dad saw the beast of the East, and this is so beyond a religion even. This is an ancient thing that is coming against us, and we know what was prophesied, and we know what is coming. I mean, I showed you the video of the guy that could very well be the Antichrist, and if he's not the Antichrist, he's one of the false prophets. We are in that time. Israel is a nation again. There are the prophecies from the Bible are coming to pass. When we were driving, we used AI to ask it some questions. My husband and I did this in the car, and we said, okay, tie together these things. And we said, the Kim Clement prophecies about 2027, the Pope Malachi prophecies about the last Pope and Peter the Roman, the Ezekiel 38 and the Gog and Magog war, AI and what Revelation says about the mark of the beast and the Antichrist. We told AI to put all those things together and kind of sum it up for us, and it wouldn't do it. It glitched out. It would not. It was the craziest thing. We were in the car, because we had been asking. You can ask it's Grok. You can ask it anything. And so, we'd been asking about the origins of this and the history of that. And then when we started to get into that, the AI started glitching out. And at one point, it just kept saying over and over again, the prayer book from 1660, the prayer book from 1660. And me and my husband are looking at each other like, what? And that was to do with the Malachi and the prophecy of the last Pope and Peter the Roman. And if you've been listening to Glenn Beck will tell you about when he went to visit Benedict, and he was in there with all the bishops and whatever he was in there with, and how when that Pietra Romanus or whatever that guy's name is came in the room, out went like ice. So we need to be able to discern the time that we're in. And we're not going to be able to do it without God. And we're not going to be able to do it without each other. It is time, my friends, to band together. We are a prophetic army of people. We are the warriors of the new millennium. We are the people that God has chosen for this hour to fight this. And we have to be together in it. And we have to forgive one another, and we have to pray for one another, and we have to lift one another up. And we cannot be slandering one another. Look, if there's things that need to be dealt with within the church, of course we deal with it. There's a biblical way of doing it, and we should deal with it. It doesn't mean ignoring sin and letting people get away with it. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is now is not the time to be petty. Because if you're busy looking this way, throwing your stones that way at the other Christians, you're not looking over there where there is a beast of the East coming against us. And look at what's happening in the world. Pray for President Trump with Ukraine and Russia, this thing, because my dad prophesied a lot about it, and we're gonna re-release some of those things. Some of you need to I'm trying to think of how to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna post some stuff on my YouTube channel, and then we'll see what we can do, because we've got with Prophetic Rewind, there's something very prophetic happening with that on Mondays, where usually I would have put prophecy stuff up on a Monday, but because of the new partnership and all the stuff we've been able to get out of the archives, we are releasing that old footage of my dad. I don't want to interrupt that, because there's like a prophetic harmony happening with that. And so don't miss Prophetic Rewind any Monday, because if you sat here with me on a Sunday, and right now I'm not actually controlling it. I've actually said to, I'm watching it and I know what's there, but I've said to Lou, just go in date order for what we have. So that's what we're doing. And we're finding that it's prophetically lining up with the things that are happening completely out of our control. So God is moving. God is moving right now. He is, and you, like Pastor Locke said, you don't want to miss this move of God. Don't miss it, because there's a lot of deception happening too. And of course, the enemy's going to do that to us. Of course he is. He's terrified of us, because when we do come together, we are stronger than any army on earth. Think of it. And so, I love all of you. You don't want to, do we have an ad to show everybody from this week of House of Destiny, Lou? Okay, let me play that for you guys before I go, because I don't want you to miss what we have going on at the House of Destiny, and I'll come back. What's new at the House of Destiny Network?
Elijah says, go and eat, go and drink, because I hear the sound of an abundance of rain. And I say to the church tonight, go and eat and go and drink, for I hear the sound of an abundance of rain.
Sometimes it's difficult, or it feels difficult, to start a conversation and to, bring up Jesus. I find that if you are just led, just allow the Spirit to lead you, then something could happen.
Yeah. But just the fact that he spoke about a spirit-filled Pope being raised up, we obviously know there's a whole bunch of people that are on the line right now, to see who's going to fill this position, because it is one of incredible influence across the earth. It just is.
When we walk in the love of God, we are also walking in His truth. When we walk in the love of God, we are also walking in His way. Okay? We're walking in truth, the way, and life. And in order to do this, guys, we really have to tap into forgiveness and the understanding of forgiveness.
We need to understand that Israel cannot be acting and working and moving behind the scenes. We have to be in the forefront of all these talks and all these discussions, right side by side with the Americans. The fact that we're not inside these talks, this is very bad, because we are very much afraid.
You are unique. You are ideal in Him. You are formed and fashioned by His hand. And you are alive now to be a part of this golden age of the church.
I'm reading your comments. I'm reading you guys' comments. I love you guys. Okay, so listen, if you are giving an offering, if you want to support us, we do need support to continue doing what we're doing here at the House of Destiny. There is a prophetic legacy, and you're a part of that. And so I know so many of you support us, and anything helps. And there is remember what Richard and Debbie Gray, reminded me of last week, was the prophet's reward. And in order to keep doing this, we do need support, and we don't have big media, anybody supporting. We don't have anything like that. We've got some sponsorships from My Pillow and Beverly Hills Precious Metals, and of course we'll play those for you. Use our codes, and that way you can get the discount, especially at My Pillow. They'll give you a big discount. I was on the Reawaken America tour with Mike Lindell, and man, he has been through a lot. So if you can, if you want to buy some towels and sheets and all that stuff, go get it from My Pillow instead of somewhere else. We've got a discount code. Just put that in there. But if you have given an offering today or at any time, if you're giving to us, we want to give back to you. We want to say thank you. And one of the ways we can do that is with this devotional. It's all written by my dad. He used to write these emails to every day, and he called them the Daily Light, and he sent them all over the place to everybody. And we gathered the best of them and made it into a devotional. And for an offering, I don't care if you give 50 cents. we want to send this to you. But in order to do that, we need you to use the QR code at the bottom of the screen. If you feel uncomfortable about a QR code, you can go to the website, click the banner, and just let us know you want it. Because I know a lot of you give every week, and then maybe you don't want one of these every week. So that's why we do it that way. And then the other one is Prophetic Revelation, a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement. We released this, it's over a year ago now. And so for a donation of $25 or more, just because it's a bigger book and it's a new release and it takes a lot to print it and get it to you guys, $25 or more, we're going to send you this. Just make sure you use the QR code or click the banner. And don't miss anything happening at the House of Destiny this week. And also our partners, those of you who have started to partner with us, you are seeing on Prophetic Rewind all that old footage, that beautiful, I just played for you of my dad, seeing the abundance of rain. That was from 1996. I was 16 years old. I miss him so much. We can now share a lot of that stuff with you that we couldn't before because we couldn't get it digitized. And because you have partnered with us, and because you've joined our Prophecy Vault partnership program, we are now able to get some of those more difficult old things digitized that are costly and it's hard to do. We are doing that because of you. You are helping to make sure that people get to hear these prophecies. It is so important. Whatever they do with it, it's up to them. But give people a chance to hear what was prophesied by my dad, because God used him as a voice for the time that we are in. Dad's gone. That gives even more authenticity to what he prophesied about, because he was not even a part of any of this. He wasn't here to choose a side or be biased. All of it was prophesied long before. And as we've watched it come to pass, it is just, not only has it helped us with our faith, but it's also been a guide on this journey, like little lights along the road in the dark. And really, it has been so difficult in a time where information is so abundant and so easy to get. It's also just as easy to deceive people. And so we need discernment. And these prophecies have helped so many people. And so if you can partner with us, it's $7 or more a month. If you can't, it's okay. You can still get the prophecy database. You can still watch everything. All the broadcasts are on YouTube, on Rumble, on our network, houseofdestiny.org or kimclement.com or houseofdestiny.tv. Lou's back.
And School of the Prophets is in the
School of the
vault.
Prophets.
Now, I've been seeing a lot of comments, and thank you to everyone who has commented. I've been reading them because I run the social media platform, and I'm taken back by how many people have written and said that they are so blessed by the School of the Prophets because they're learning so much. It's a teaching course. Kim's there teaching like a teacher.
I love it. He was so cute. My dad was so cute, you guys, because he was, my dad was never like a teacher kind of person. And so he was very excited about he had his podium and he had that long
stick and he would
and
tap
he
it. He says, okay, class. Okay, class. He says, okay,
he was
class.
really enjoying the role.
So it's very powerful. And one lady, I saw the comment this morning. Sorry, I can't remember your name right now, but she was saying that she's on the Prophecy Vault every day.
It's awesome,
every night. There's so much content there. You can go for days, months, whatever. But she said that she's been listening to it. She's been listening to School of the Prophets, and every channel we have is available through there too.
Yes.
Everything you need.
If you're part of the Prophecy Vault, you automatically just get School of the Prophets. It's in there. We're updating it all the time. We're just making it as just the best we can give you with what we have. And these are unprecedented times. And so it calls for God to do unprecedented things, and that is what is happening. And so encourage one another, lift one another up, help one another out, pray for the people. If you're worried about people that God has put into positions of authority, that maybe they're making the wrong decisions, or maybe pray for those people, pray for them. Don't slander them, because I see there's a lot of people trafficking around who like to criticize church leaders and stuff and fly helicopters over people's houses and things like that. And then at the end of their thing, then they'll say, well, donate to us. But what have they given you? Nothing but slander. When at least those people are spreading the gospel. So you need to discern. Don't get caught up in the gossip. And I know, look, I'm a victim of it too. It's happened to me. Just don't let it happen. We need to be together. We need to be in this together. And because that unity in Christ will strengthen us in a way that no army, no religion, no other nonsense can ever come against us if we have his name, Yeshua, that name above all names. So as long as we do that, we're going to make it through this together. And so I think I've covered everything. And I thank you for being patient with me today, because again, I just got back from Washington, D.C., and I wasn't sure how much I was allowed to share. But let me just tell you something. They're working for you. Christians, the faith office is working for you. And so pray for Paula White. Pray for her team. Pray for President Trump. Pray for the people that God has placed in those. God knows what he's doing way better than us. And nobody's going to be perfect. And nobody's going to get it all right. But God is using who he's using. And so we have to support that. And so I encourage you to do that. And I love all of you. And thank you for joining me again this week. We will have, I'll be back with you guys on Wednesday with analysis. We'll cover, I don't know what we're even doing, but we'll have stuff for you guys. There's so much to analyze. I mean, really, Ukraine and Putin, I'm warning you guys about Putin. And if I can get to President Trump, I will be warning him, but I think he's seeing it himself. And that doesn't mean Zelensky's a good guy either. Okay, both can be bad at the same time. We need to stop being so polarized all the time, because that's how the devil gets in. And pray, just pray for one another, lift one another up, bond together. That's what we need to be doing right now. So again, thank all of you for joining me. We'll be back next week, of course, with more Code Breakers Live. And then on Wednesday, tomorrow, Prophetic Rewind. Don't miss it. All of it is up on our YouTube, Rumble, X, and on our website, kimclement.com, houseofdestiny.org, houseofdestiny.tv. There's many ways you can watch this stuff. Just follow us wherever you like, whatever social media you like to use, you'll be able to find us, follow us, and you can watch our stuff. Charlie Jordan's there. And, Charlie was with my dad for 17 years. Every time my dad was prophesying, Charlie was behind him. And he has a lot to add to this. And he's also there on the House of Destiny Network. So don't miss him. Christy and Doobie every Friday giving us Israel updates on Israel from the ground in Israel. We don't want to miss any of that. Saturdays, Faw's doing church. Pastor Faw is our House of Destiny pastor. He does our church services on Saturdays now. We used to have that on Wednesdays, but we switched it. And so analysis is happening on Wednesdays. Church with Faw is happening on Saturdays. That's the change that happened. And of course, I will be seeing you Wednesday and Sunday. So that's everything. I love you all. See you next week. Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. We've also enhanced the prophecy database, meticulously updating it with new video content and profound insights. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. As part of your membership, you'll also gain access to my prophecy blog, where I break down and analyze my father's prophecies, connecting them to current events. This blog will provide you with exclusive insights and a deeper understanding of how God's word is unfolding right now. And we're offering something truly special: exclusive analysis sessions available only to members of the Prophecy Vault. These sessions will go beyond the surface, providing in-depth exploration of specific prophecies and their implications for today and the future. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. So, I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2
We here at the House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you. And then by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.